A lot of people coming and joining and watching us. Hello. Nice to have you on board. Hopefully this has been useful. Hopefully this has been entertaining.
Like seriously terrible.
We need a soldier, come on. Soldier will be fine. McCree's okay. It's not ideal. I think soldier's better just because he's better at long range. Dealing with the pharmacy is always going to be a problem. Again, this is like... This is where at a high level I would definitely be lambasting you for not scouting. Like, this information, think about what your team can see at the moment compared to what you can see. So your team's going in under here. What can we see? We can see everything. We can see most of their team. It's a little bit blurry, but we can sort of make it all out. We can see 4 members of their team right now, I think. We've got 1... Okay, let's not use yellow there. Let's use pink. We can see 1 over here. We can see the Mercy up here. We can see 2 people here. Okay, so that means 4 people, most of the team is accounted for. That's incredibly useful. Okay, because if our team goes this way and takes the high ground, nothing is challenging them. The only thing that's challenging them is the pharmacy. Nothing else can get up there. Junkrat's going to be shit at getting up there. And if they're running Bastion, well, he's probably sneaking around this way. No fucking problem. This info is so useful to the team. And we're not giving it to them. Good first rocket, good second rocket. Good, 1-2 punch. Bastion set up on the high ground. Our team should have taken the high ground by now. Our team might have taken the high ground if they felt that it was completely safe to go and take it. Like, they might have just pushed around and we could have easily pushed through and said, okay, we could have pushed through, seen what we saw, said, they're going low ground, guys take high ground. And suddenly our team goes up here, they kill the Bastion, we don't have to worry about that anymore. The Bastion will be completely alone, completely isolated. Anything going and challenging for the high ground is just dead. Now that we've got the Pharah especially, it's so easy for us. Instead of our team is split up all over the place. No one has gone and taken the high ground. They're still pissing around on the low ground because they might be worried that people are coming through for them or going to be fighting them directly. They don't know where the team is on the enemy team because no one's told them and they haven't seen them. That little bit of information, that little bit of scouting can make such a huge difference. Such a huge difference in terms of what people are planning to do. Zenyatta starts fragging out. Feels good, man. What have we got here? Their Pharah's just drifting in. Okay, with us just focusing on that for now, especially now that she's on the ground. She's gone up. She's away. I would have probably liked us to go for the Mercy there just because she was closer. So if you think about the drift, the rocket up we're going to do. Quick slurp of coffee. If you think about the motion we're about to do, we're about to go up this way. We're going up literally right in front of the Mercy. So it's no different than the motion would do in front of Pharah, where we rocket up in front of them. We would have 2 easy close shots on the Mercy there. We got a shot on the Mercy, we should definitely be finishing the Mercy. She's healing slower than the Pharah is. Okay, now she's healed back up. Discord Orb is on the Pharah. Just swap back. Fist fight in the sky. Zenyatta helps out. Feels good, man. I just want to point out 2 people in very high-tech rocket-powered jumpsuits literally punching each other in the face. Humanity, ladies and gentlemen. I've never seen a more apt statement of mankind's inhumanity to man than this.
Nice.
Philosophy with one amongst many. Anyway, managed to take it back. Big threat is now removed. Let's focus on the easy to clean up ground threats. Bastion, no problem for us. Pharah, we're not really that scared of him, especially if we get a little bit of healing. We're losing track here. There we go. When this happens, like, this happens a lot when you're playing Genji and you draw a Dragon Blade. You'll, like, go up, and then you'll lose track of stuff. When you're playing Pharah, don't be afraid to just, like, take a moment and, like, empty your mind, almost, and listen. And just listen to what's happening in the game, because that will point out to you where stuff is happening. So, if we do that now, I'll turn the volume up, so you guys can hear it nice and clearly as well. Go up. Underneath us. Underneath us. Because we've just spent a good 3 seconds not doing shit. Not shooting stuff. We should be shooting stuff. We want to be shooting stuff. Also, another clue as to what this Bastion's going to be doing is that there's only 1 exit. Well, there's actually 2 exits from that room. So, in theory, Bastion has gone in here. Now, this Bastion has a decision to make. He can either go back out this way, in which case he's going out into a Winston, which he probably doesn't like. The electricity short-circuits him, so it makes him feel very uncomfortable. Or he's going to come out this way. So chances are pretty good he's going to come out this way. So we should be planning our motion accordingly, where we go up and we look down beneath us, and we can even see the Bastion. And we shouldn't be losing track of this Bastion. I guess we're hunting the Lucio, but honestly, we could just be drilling this Bastion. Like, we're trying to chase after a target that's already been chased after. We can just be spending our time getting rid of a target that isn't being supported, isn't being healed, and we can two-shot. He does go down pretty quickly afterwards, but we could just be a little bit sharper on that. Now we definitely want to get rid of this Lucio, because he's got Discord Orb on us. Easy for us to hunt down, we get the rocket, done. In terms of aiming, and we want to just be... Actually... Like, fair enough. I'd say that one's the only one that's really out of place. This one is okay, because we're assuming that he might just go this way. Instead he opts to go this way. Fair enough. And then we get the kill on him. Why do you have a fucking beanie indoors? Because I can't be asked to shave my head, so yeah. And I don't have hair. Spoiler. See? Nothing under here. So my head gets cold. That's why I have a fucking beanie indoors.
Heals on the back.
I'm just answering a question in the chat. Just caught my eye.
Back,
Anyway. Let's keep shooting. Again, I'm fine with us hunting down this Tracer. This is being active, this is doing shit. This is... If there's a free target there, she's gone now. We can sort of keep an eye out for her, but in general... We don't want to spend too long hunting around here. Like, once this Tracer's gone around this corner, I'd say we want to start drifting up this way, because as you saw... The advantage of Tracer is that if she doesn't want to engage something, she doesn't have to. As such, she's just going to run all the way back out. We can get back into position, get ready to catch their push as it goes in, especially through this low ground area. That's no problem. She's used blinks. Now we should definitely be focusing on her, helping the Zenyatta. A whole shed load. Let's just protect the Zenyatta. Just make sure that we aren't going to lose the point for a stupid reason. I'd say we've gone a little bit too far here, where we could be pocketing with the Zen a little bit more. So we just want to keep an eye out for it. Do a good job hearing the Lucio though. Get an easy kill on him. This is Pharah plus Zen doing good stuff. Justice rains from above. She's wasted that on us. That's okay. We trade an ult for a single kill. Not too big of a deal. That was a terrible ult as well by that Pharah. General good rule of thumb for Pharah ults: the higher you are, the worse it is. You want to be doing it from as close as you can to the enemy. Right. We're coming back in. Putting stuff out. Keep an eye on the point. Got a free Mercy kill. The Mercy over there, apparently. Again, fire in the hole. It's not too big of a problem for us. We should definitely be trying to get that. Like, fire in the hole is a very easy kill for us. So, we should just put a rocket over here. Because one rocket makes all the difference in the world with that. Trust me. Keeping our eye out. That's a free Pharah kill if I've ever seen one. There you go, good job. Hitting standing still targets is just a good habit. Very easy to deal with. McCree's doing a good job as well. Trace is trying to get on the point, no problem. Ooh, juicy free supports. Let's focus on these. I get the res. That's scary. That's a scary noise. Try and get round. Be safe. We don't want to just die. It is bold. Very bold. Even with sound barrier, that's incredibly risky because this does redonkulous damage. The Junkrat hits. The Junkrat is literally stood under us. Bless him. We've got to the point now where I haven't watched this game from this point on, so I'm actually kind of curious to see how this fully goes. I'd say in terms of like this entire fight, it's a bit of a clusterfuck, but it's a bit of a clusterfuck because it opens up with 2 kills onto our heroes, which is always bad. So now we're sort of in stalling mode. We get free kill on this Pharah, which is lovely. I don't know what she's thinking, just standing there.
Some heals above.
McCree's does a good job, and yeah, now we're just looking for stuff. Honestly, I'd be fine with us not overcommitting, or like not dropping down here. We could very easily just decide to land on top of this thing instead. And just, instead of ceding the high ground by just dropping down, there's nothing that can really challenge us up here except the Bastion, and we can use that to get a good angle on the Lucio. I don't know what you call that. The Lucy coming in. We can go and deal with the Lucy here because they're pushing in this way. Mercy's just desperately dashing in. She gets the res, which is okay because we have a barrage. The fact that we drop down here, though, is a bit of a problem because that just leaves us sort of landing in the arse end of their team, which is not really where we want to be. Because now they all know where we are. This is greedy and desperate and not really necessary. I'd say I understand our use of it. Ideally, we wouldn't use a sound barrier here, and I'd say that, like, in a perfect world, the perfect thing to do in this situation would be not to use the sound barrier and not to use any resources. You let this fight go. Why do you let this fight go? Because since the beginning of this fight, They have used Fire in the Hole, they have used Sound Barrier, they have used Resurrect, they used Bastion ult. It's 4 ults. They used Barrage a little while ago, we just had a Pulse Bomb go off, so they've used 5 ults. 5 ultimates. 5 ultimates? Why are we... We've already lost most of our people, this is where you just say, let it go. Don't use resources, you come in for the next fight with as many ultimates as you can possibly have. Which is a Diva Bomb, by the looks of it, Bomb, Barrage, Sound Barrier, Transcendence is available, I've just noticed. And you just win it like that. It looks like it might be working out. That's more the enemy team fucking up than anything. They should have been able to clean that up. I guess they don't. Suspense is killing me. Another Fire in the Hole just takes out McCree. This Junkrat is getting way too much value. We should be clearing the point. Let's not make the same mistake twice. Finish it on the point. There you go. Now you can look for other threats. Okay. Oh! The only reason why that wasn't punished harder is the enemy team fucked up. At higher rank,
This is it, boys.
they will win that fight. And then you would have used ultimates in a fight that was already kind of lost, and that's just bad habits.
Nice. Great
It always feels bad when you say one thing and something completely different happens, but hey.
Yeah, man.
Hello. Like, we got a lot of viewers today, which is it's great to see. If it is your first time here, then welcome. My name's Josh. I talk about Overwatch a lot. I'm sort of one of the oldest Overwatch content creators in the scene, because my first Overwatch video went up in November 2014, which is a while ago now. And this is Coaching the Many. Today we're talking about doing shit, doing stuff on the map, trying to be active. We have a Widowmaker, this Mr. Hamster chap, who these accounts I think are clearly... So these two people are probably Smurfs. Being placed, no placement, low rank, Smurfs. Honestly, Widowmaker, not too bad a pick against their team. The Trace is going to be a problem for the Widow, but not that big of a problem. They have no tanks to stop her dealing damage. The Pharah should be able to be shut down, and then nothing else can really stop her. They're just getting tons of kills. Oh, they have a Diva though, that's a problem. And that's an issue. This Pharah is a free kill for us. We want to take this fight, so she's coming up towards us. This sets us up for a really easy kill. We know that her pathway is going to be like up and towards. We should be anticipating that. We should be putting our crosshair literally pretty much almost on top of her. Now, I understand why we're going for the Lucio here, but this, especially with a Widowmaker on our team, this is just bliss, and we should be capitalizing on that. It's like the one time we should be shooting the Pharah, we're not. And the danger of shooting down here is there's a Diva just stood here waiting for it. So this is a free kill. Because what's happening, like if you think about it in terms of like two-dimensional space, this would be really easy to kind of understand. Okay, let's pretend for a while that we live in a 2D universe, okay? It's a bit of a weird concept, but hey. And let's just plan out what's sort of happening here. So this is sort of the architecture of the map, and then we've got this area here, and then this is our sort of spawn coming in, and we've got this area here. These are the stairs down to the point. Point is over here, okay? Enemy team is doing this. Let's change the color. Let's go yellow. So enemy team did this. They ran in, and then the Diva and Lucio went this way. The Pharah did this. She came in, and she went this way. In two-dimensional space, it suddenly makes sense of like, well, our team is coming out this way. Why is Pharah alive? In 2D space, it's so easy to see that this Pharah is just horribly out of position. And she's not even setting herself up well to get a kill on us. She's just like jumping into our face, which is honestly good for us because we're firing from a higher position. Higher position is better. Zero doubt about that. We have more situational awareness. It's easier for us to aim. It's easier and faster for us to drop than it is for her to go up. So we have more options. This is very bad motion out there, Pharah. It should be punished. We do get one shot. It's a pity that like the Widow didn't finish it off. We could have called that out for the Widow, but hey. Good job swapping to the Zen. Rather we go for the Zen here. So now that we're in here, the reason why I say go for the Zen is think about this Lucio's axes of movement. So he can go this way, this way, this way. This way he can do what he wants, this Zenyatta. Can't really go left. Can't really go right. He can either come out onto the point or he can go back in. Like this Lucio can do whatever he wants. This Zenyatta cannot. He's framed for us. He's just nicely outlined, so we can easily just slam a rocket like pretty much right at him, and it's going to hurt him no matter what. He can't juke it. So I'm fine with us swapping into that. We blow him back, and then we should be going in and confirming this kill, because these two don't really scare us. Either that, or we could, in theory, transition at this point. It seems like we've tried to do both and not really done either. So at this point, where we get this kill, we can do one of two things. We can either transition to try and clean up on the point, or we can go in and go hard on that. Going in and going hard on that is a little bit scary because we have Discord Orb. But still, we are keeping them pinned back, which is good. Our team should win this team fight. They do have a Pharah still floating around somewhere, but I'm fine with us ignoring it for now. That's someone else's job. Just get rid of the Tracer. She's pretty much out of... Now she is out of blinks. Easy time for us. Easy finish. Pharah's low. Now we can hunt this down. She goes next to the wall. Easy cleanup. So we did manage to get the supports pinned back, but I'd like to just see more decisiveness. It felt like, I don't know. We could have... Maybe a rocket or two could have gone in a different place there. And they could have done more. And it sounds very marginal, but it's these kind of marginal decisions that really do start making the difference. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to piece together what that bomb was. Did she lob it around the back? Did she lob it from under? I'm not sure. We don't get to see. I'm fine with us poking out this way. I would say we don't want to go quite out this far. There's actually a trick you can do on this map. If I go back here, if we look about here, this ledge, you can actually land over here, like over in this area. Is kind of worth doing. It looks like she sent it up and under. Don't do this. Don't do that. It's a naked diva bomb. Never works. Or it shouldn't ever work, basically. I'm fine with us controlling this choke and these choke points, like we're very good at doing that. I want to be a little bit more decisive about what we're doing here, because we're sort of just drifting around, not quite sure. So we see that the Junkrat peels back here, and then we decide to go for this Lucio, and then we sort of don't commit on that, and we just bounce around here. We have opportunities here where we can just push in here and help the Winston. Like, Pulse Bomb doesn't scare us, Tracer doesn't really scare us in general. This has enough space in here where we can go and sort of commit to that. And we just kind of don't commit to anything and float around. Almost get the Pharah.
No, okay, back up. Follow the group.
We just seem a little bit unwilling to commit to things.
I will not fail again.
Let's see.
Lucio, you're in count, right?
Tracer no recall. This is a huge opportunity for us to go and get that. 3 people have just died. Okay, we should not be pushing now. No! No, Lucio, why would you do this? Why? Why would you do this? How? How did you win this? And even the Lucio dies. If you guys win this fight... Okay. What's helping is their Pharah isn't doing anything right now, except for missing us. He gets 1 rocket. But all that time, like, Winston is just going fucking nuts on the floor. Unchallenged. We finally get killed by a Junkrat tire.
Div out of mech, div out of mech.
There's a Mossy somewhere.
Okay, let's very basically go over why is what Lucio did bad, okay? Why is what Lucio did bad? You have an opportunity here to do something, but let's look at the kill feed. We're going in. Diva's been demacked. Diva is dead, Zenyatta is dead. 2 people are dead. This is trickling in, where 2 people have sort of gone off on one side or might still be sort of fighting from the previous fight. They should have just died or got out as quickly as they could earlier so that we can regroup. And now we're trying to push in. We are going in with 3 people into potentially 5, 6, maybe. We managed to get a very quick pick on the Mercy, which is great. Good target prior there. Good target prior on the Junkrat. Unfortunately, the Mayhem kills our Lucio, and then we sort of go onto the Pharah. Now, because basically the only thing that's fighting on the point right now is an ulting Winston, but because their main source of DPS, their Pharah, is shooting at us, he's still alive. And then Zenyatta's come back and has started to heal him. And we can start going and looking for stuff. We don't respect the sound cue coming in from behind us, and then we get killed for that, but we do demech the Diva.
Div out of mech.
There's a Mossy somewhere.
But that's absolutely a case of like, we get 2 good kills fairly early, and then Lucio for some reason dies to Mayhem. But you notice during all of this time we haven't taken the point, is the big thing. And this is sort of why trickling in can be so bad, because it feels like we might be doing things at the moment, but we're not. And now we're at 72%, and we're still fighting, and they're reinforcing at the same rate that we are, because their spawn is equidistant, so they're coming back in just as quickly as we are. And even though we're getting kills, we're not getting kills fast enough or decisively enough to where we ever leave the state of just constantly brawling on the point. And you'll hear people say, in games on King of the Hill like this, that, oh man, that was a really good close game. No, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. It was a fun game because it was just a non-stop fucking brawl on the point, and that is fun. But it never does anything. Nothing's happened as a result of that, and everything from sort of like this, even earlier. So we get the point. They get the point. And then we regroup here. Everything from 20%. 20%. Time code 2528. From here to the end, we don't get a good push. We never get a single unified push. And I think we might even hold barrage that entire time. Where we're just fighting on the point, but we never get together enough for a decisive point. They can't clear us fast enough to actually wipe us. But what they're inadvertently doing is staggering us perfectly. And we're just getting staggered where one of us dies, someone else comes in enough time to save it, someone else comes in, and then 2 people die all of a sudden, and then someone else comes in, and then so on, so on, so on, so on. And even though we die, we have a good minute and a half of literally nothing good for us happening. Where the best thing to do would be to call the wipe, call the reset, say that this fight is done. Don't use ults, regroup, they've used resources, we want to get back together as quickly as possible. Like, going in here is suicide. Like, look how many people they have available, look at the kill feed. This is bad, this is very, very bad for us. We're going in, there's a Lucio on the point, we're trying to kill the Pharah, but all we're doing is we're wasting time that we don't have to waste, where we could be regrouping. We go in, we die, we can't get back anymore, we can't do a unified push. Very good example of a team that's just trickling constantly. Call the wipe, die quickly, die decisively, regroup, go in with a big push, go in with the big wallop, or you get this here, the defeat. The big fat D. No one likes the big fat D.
Yeah, that race around that.
Yeah, I couldn't find opening.
Sleep, player of the game. Got Notorious CIP. Let's see what we can do on the Winston. He's looking for kills. He's hungry, ladies and gentlemen. He's got 3 people in his sights at the moment. Junkrat's going for a risky tire. It doesn't manage to catch it there. He's hunting down targets. So far, not really play the game worthy, but does manage to find and get rid of that annoying Lucio. Does get bashed about a bit by the Junkrat, but doesn't find too much more. That, apparently, was play of the game. Can you feel the hype? Okay, let's go back. Go back to this screen. Okay, now is a very good time for chat to be asking questions. I will take questions for about, well, let's do about 20 minutes of questions. It's been a long episode, but still, I do like taking questions from the chat. Man, even play the game shows how bad the game was. I know. Feels bad, man. Self-vote. Damn straight, the big fat self-vote. What do we got here, actually? Let's have a look at these stats. 56 eliminations, 51% kill participation. We'd actually hope that's a little bit higher as Pharah. Pharah should have high kill participation, just because she does splash. Hits a lot of things. Should be pretty high. 19% of team damage taken. Not much on the healing front there. And even lower healing here. Ugh. Ugh. I'm not sure how much healing these guys could put out. 32 objective kills, 48 eliminations. Feels bad, man. Junkrats shouldn't have gotten away with that much, especially when we're playing Pharah. Okay. Let's see. They also held ult the whole time, yeah. See? I spotted that. Right. Can you talk a little bit how to play Pharah when the opponent has D.Va? You basically, it's actually a very good question. So if you aren't aware, if you're thinking about how do we counter Pharah? Well, Soldier 76 and Widowmaker are good counters. Slap, 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 slap. D.Va is the best counter. D.Va shuts down Pharah. And this is partially, I think, why you see a lot of it in the Korean meta, is you see a lot more... A, it slows dive down, and B, you do see a lot of pharmacy getting run in Apex these days, so it also shuts that down in a really big way. If the enemy team does have a D.Va, you are basically looking to pressure her and just try and make sure that she never gets an opportunity to rest her defense matrix. Try and work with your team to just keep that defense matrix pressured, because once it runs out, it takes a while to recharge. When it goes down, when you get an opportunity to hit her and blow her out of the mech, do it. And then when she's out of mech, go fucking crazy. Then you are looking to get in position to drop barrages. Then you are looking to do things proactively and aggressively. That is when you are looking for chances to go and wreak havoc on their team, because you have been let off the leash, and you've got to make use of that time. If you can occasionally, then sometimes one of the funniest things divas can do is when they self-destruct and you have a barrage. And as long as you are safe from the self-destruct, which is kind of easy for you because you're Pharah and you can reposition pretty well, yeah, just barrage their team. Like, divas that self-destruct when a Pharah is flying around for no reason, punish that. Or don't. Try and, I don't know, innately encourage Pharahs to do, divas to do that somehow with some Pavlovian conditioning and reward them for doing it secretly but kill their team in the meantime. Somehow. Give them some chocolate. I don't know. Anyway. A big thing to do there, I'm guessing there versus there is meant to be Pharah versus Pharah, but Zeet's on a phone, I guess, is don't spam and think on the shots. But I won't go for it if you have other targets to shoot, and please never try and kill a Pharah alone when she has a mercy. You can't out DPS it, you need like 3-4 direct hits in a row, but this guy has really good ass shots. By the way, how dare you catch another Pharah? I'm sorry, Zeta. I just couldn't resist. I've actually had a lot of Pharah submissions this week. I've got a lot of tracers as well, which is nice. I do agree with, like, you've got to think on the shots, be wary of just spamming. It does depend slightly on your aim style. Some Pharahs are very flick shotty, some Pharahs are like me and they're more tracking oriented. Just don't hold down left mouse button and hope that it works. Think about where you're going to put your next rocket. Think about, is she near a wall? Can I get splash off it? Think about all that kind of stuff. In terms of the pharmacy versus pharmacy, especially if it is pharmacy versus pharmacy, like getting 2 quick directs on the Pharah is the fastest way to end it. But you are looking for opportunities to do that when you have stuff like the rocket jump into them. Then you can close the gap very easily, get those 2 shots in, and then you can win that very quickly. Otherwise, you just move it and look for other things. Why is aiming so difficult? You put your crosshair somewhere. It's because people move. And hand-eye coordination is the thing. King of the Hill 2 deathmatch specific? No, I don't think so. King of the Hill, I like King of the Hill. I really do like King of the Hill. It's probably my favorite game mode, to be honest. As a player, as a viewer, I prefer Payload, but as a player, I actually really like King of the Hill. I think it's just because I do like the brawly style, and do like the more chaotic action that you get out of King of the Hill. I think it favors me more, although I do have a kind of a tactical brain, so Payload works. But I think the biggest thing with King of the Hill there was just like no one called the end of that fight, especially in that last stage, especially in like this entire brawl. Well, you get the idea. You know the brawl I mean. Like all of this time when the team started losing, no one just called an end to that. And when talking to pros, like if you ask them, oh, what is the thing that non-pros do that kind of they should learn, it's learn how to end a fight. Learn when a fight is over, when you want to just regroup, because especially in King of the Hill, time is precious. Time is so precious. And so when this flip happens, this is when you're looking to do a full regroup. Literally what this guy says, full regroup, and that's the ideal. Get everyone together, be ready to go in with some ultimates. Instead of the full regroup, like, literally, just now, D.Va has died, and then, well, D.Va's been demeched, then died, and then Zenyatta's died. Imagine, because half your team literally leaves spawn at the same time. Imagine, at this point, someone calls, okay, fight's over, die now. Die as fast as you can, or get out.
We're coming.
Then they would have just respawned with us. Instead, for some reason, like, the D.Va's still fighting, she could be rocket boosting away.
Okay, back up.
Zen, what are you doing? How did this Zen die? Zen dies to go in and try and save the D.Va, I'm guessing, and just gets annihilated. So D.Va gets blown up, and then Zenyatta gets killed. Because he's all the way over here. Like, he shouldn't be over here. He should not be over there. And Transcendence is ready. Like, what the fuck? How can you lose that now? Because now your team has to wait 15 seconds, and the enemy team's going to get an advantage. Like, it's such a big detriment in King of the Hill, and being able to just cut your losses and regroup is such an important skill. We've already confirmed that Pharah will be coffee ice cream, but people want to know what a possessed Pharah would look like. A possessed Pharah would be like rum and coffee, I guess, I don't know. Some alcoholic spice into it to make it a little bit more interesting and exotic, I guess. what do you need to change in Pharah playstyle? Depending on if you have a pharmacy pocket or without it, you've got to consider the mercy. So I know Valkyr, my good friend Valkyr, it was his birthday yesterday, I think, or was it the day before? Anyway, happy birthday, Valk. He's a very good Pharah player to watch. Like, if you are thinking, what streamer should I watch to learn Pharah, I will point you in Valkyr's direction. He's also got a YouTube channel, so go look at that, because it will have a lot of good advice, and I model a lot of my Pharah advice off watching him play and how he reacts to situations, because he's very good at it. But he is terrible with Mercy. He's terrible with Mercy because he moves extremely well, but he moves without considering the Mercy's movement. And you've got to understand that you have a lifeline with the Mercy, and the Mercy is reliant on you quite often in terms of her own survivability. So if you are positioning in places that are extremely dangerous, you are also putting the Mercy in danger, and that can really fuck your team. So you've got to want to be a little bit more careful with it. You can afford to be a bit spammier. You can be more aggressive with your spam, so you can peek a lot more. And any direct hits you get will just fucking annihilate the enemy team. So you want to be like peeking more, firing more long rockets, spamming at the enemy team more. You can afford to hit barriers a lot more because it just does so much damage. You can afford to peek a bunch because if Soldier 76 is hitting you, Mercy can just top it back up and you get a free resurrect. You can be a lot more ballsy, basically. Just make sure that you aren't being so ballsy that you're diving to the backline of the enemy team with a Mercy, because then they go and you just die. When playing Pharah, I for some reason always find myself eventually lingering in the air, unable to move fast enough to avoid hit scans. Any advice assuring you don't get caught out of position in the air? I am going to load up Overwatch. Let's talk about Pharah. Let's go to my face quickly. Where's my face? Hello, my face. Hello, Pharah. Isn't she lovely? Drawn by the brilliant KNKL. He used to be an artist for Riot Games. Does some brilliant art tutorials on YouTube. Very talented artist. I actually, like, when I used to draw, it's a hobby I'm looking to get back into, honestly. I watched a lot of his tutorials. They're very good. He drew a lot of the Tristana artwork, I think, and might have done one or two other heroes. Let's load up the training. So I do not claim to be a good Pharah, okay? I do not claim to be a good Pharah, but I actively try and learn. And so the big thing with Pharah movement is you have two tools for movement, okay? You have this, which gets you up and does move you relatively quickly, and you have this, which moves you extremely quickly. Think of Concussive Blast as either a one-shot kill or as a movement ability, and it's more often than not the movement ability. So when moving around as Pharah, what you'll often see the good Pharahs doing, Valkyrie especially, is let's say we want to get up and around that corner. You might be thinking, well, okay, the first thing I want to do is press this button, and then I'll drift around, and then I'll do this. And that'll give you a lot of good momentum to carry around, okay? What you'll often see the better Pharahs doing is something like this. Watch me fuck this up as well. Like, this fully could happen. You'll often see them jump, use the Concussive Blast, and then use the rocket jump up, and that will give them a huge amount of momentum coming up and over. It's because they're already carrying the momentum from the Concussive Blast to then be able to carry that into the jump. So again, going up, and then you notice you carry that momentum very easily, and you can easily use it to come up and around and drop into the enemy team. So let's say that this is our target, as I knock him off the map. So let's say that that is the enemy Mercy. He's all the way in the back line, and let's say we want to get, I don't know, around, over and around to him. We can either do it like this, and I fucked that up completely, which is wonderful. I'm actually thinking, how do I want to do this? I should probably have done this with a custom game, but whatever. Probably take just as long to set it up and get it working. So we can either go up, and then we can like try and awkwardly find something to rocket over with, but you notice that we pretty much put the brakes on immediately. Or you can wait for the cooldown. We can go in, go up, and then we're already sort of conserving a huge amount of momentum as we go dive bomb into them. So using that Concussive Blast as sort of the primer, and then using the jump afterwards, seems to work a lot better. I found from watching and from playing Pharah as well. This momentum spike is very important, and then you try and carry that for as long as possible. When you do start losing momentum and you're just sort of floating around, that's when you want to be very careful. The other piece of advice I'll give you with motion with Pharah is never be in a situation like this, where the nearest cover is fucking miles away. It's probably down below. Like, the fastest way to get into cover is that. And it sounds really obvious when you say it like that, but the amount of times you'll see Pharahs like flying around above control points in King of the Hill, like if you think about the university map, for example, if you're just floating around like our Pharah was doing, he was just floating around on top for absolutely freaking ages. It is no different than if you're playing Soldier 76, and let's say that, you know, that is an actual enemy. It's no different than playing Soldier 76 and standing here, which you would never ever do. You would never just stand in front of the enemy team like this. You would be standing over here. You'll be using cover, juking in and out of it, juking around. Juking, shooting, juking, shooting, juking, shooting. You wouldn't be stood over here, right? Same logic applies to Pharah. Exactly the same logic. So think about, you know, space, sight lines, who can see you, what can see you, all that kind of stuff. A little bit of an in-depth answer, but well worth giving, I feel. Okay, more questions. Let's see. Can you talk briefly about tunnel vision when using all the information available? Sounds kill feed rather than what's right in front of you. I feel this Pharah over-focused on the other Pharah because she was all he could see. It is a common problem. The best way to fix tunnel vision is just to be aware that sometimes you tunnel into things, and play, like quick play is actually a fine place to do it. Play quick play and just every now and then just reassess what you're doing. Especially if you find yourself getting into long, drawn-out fights. Like how we can hear Arisa clanking in the background. If you find yourself getting sort of dragged into these long, drawn-out fights, then you don't want, like, think about, all this time I'm taking shooting at this Pharah, sure, she's shooting back at me, but I could be doing something else. You know, it's been 3 weeks since I last killed someone. Part of this mentality comes to me from playing a lot of Sniper in TF2, where you learn very quickly that, sure, you can, like, if you fire a single headshot every minute and you have it dead on precise, you kill one person a minute, great, maybe, okay? But the Soldier 76 has killed, the Soldier has killed tons of people during that time. His kill rate is way faster because he's being more aggressive, he's being more active, he's hunting targets down more while you're just waiting, trying to nail this one target. He is more effective than you. And so, let's say in this game, if their Pharah, like every time she rocketed in, she killed one of our supports and then did half damage to someone else. And then we kill her because she wasn't paying attention to us. And then we just sort of float around, we're looking for other stuff to do, but in the time that it's taking us to kill her, then she can come back really quickly, or we're out of position or something like that, whatever. We have to go get health or something. So that she comes back, she kills the support, does half damage to someone else. We kill her. He comes back, kills the support, half damage to something else, we kill her. She's being more effective than we are. Even though we're shutting her down, she's still doing more on the map. And you might be thinking, well, so it was my job to kill the Pharah, but their Pharah's done more, therefore done better. So being aware of, like, how many people am I actually killing right now? What am I actually doing right now? You know, have I played other games as Pharah where I've killed far more people? Okay, what am I doing? What's different? Well, I might be over-focusing on this Pharah because no one else is dealing with her and I have to deal with her. But in doing so, I'm spending, like, all my time just shooting into the sky and not really getting anywhere. Well, maybe you might be better served trying something else and trying to kill the targets on the ground very quickly, and then more of your team can help deal with the threat in the air. Part of it was a problem with the team comp, and I think someone did ask, like, should this Pharah have swapped off? I think the Pharah, honestly, was fine as a selection. I think the big problem was the Junkrat. Like, the McCree was a good swap. Soldier 76 would have been a better swap. And maybe having a Diva as well would have helped even more. But the Soldier 76 could have then just dealt with the Pharah, and you can deal with the threats on the ground, no problem. The issue was no one on that team could deal with Pharah. How can I deal better with Genji? I have no problem hitting him when he dashes at me or right when his deflector drops, but I can't hit him with rockets when he's jumping around. Simple property of gravity. Whatever goes up must come down, right? So instead of trying to hit, like, Genji has a predictable movement pattern in that he will pretty much universally double jump and then land. I have just drawn a very tiny penis. But he pretty much universally jump, jump, land, jump, jump, land, jump, jump, land, jump, jump, land, constantly. Anticipate the double jump, aim where he's going to land. Boom, dead. That's the biggest advice I can give you. He is squirrely and difficult to hit, but especially if you can get above him as well, then him jumping around stops being a problem because vertical movement doesn't matter anymore because you've removed that. So if you can get above him, then it's a very good way of dealing with it as well. He is difficult for you to finish off, but not impossible.
Nothing makes me feel more alive.
Thank you, Charlie.
Than when I'm one amongst the many.
Just wondering what golden gun are you going to get next, because the season ends soon and you might reach the cap limit on points. Not sure what rank you got this season, but I might.
What is the cap? Is it 5,000? I did hit Grandmaster, so I actually might have to buy one. I'll do that in a second. I'm not actually sure what I should get. Probably let the subs decide. Let's see. We did that one. Do you have anything to add regarding target prioritizing during barrage? Because I often have a solo ult for Ana or Mercy if the situation seems right. Solo ulting Mercy is fine. I'd honestly say that that's okay. Like I have no issue with doing that. Let's find a good one. There we go. Looking very focused there. Like solo ulting a Mercy, sure you could perhaps get more value, but getting rid of the Mercy is always going to be important. If at least if you like, don't solo ult on Mercy if she has already rezzed. That is not value. But solo ulting a Mercy before she can res is value. So yeah, not a problem with doing that. In terms of barrage, just make sure like before you execute the barrage, you have some kind of plan. Like the best way to execute a barrage is enemy team on the ground. Like this is sideways on. Enemy team is here. This is Reinhardt. This barrier. And then you've got other people on the team, and they're all stood behind him. They're feeling good. And then like this is the Mercy, and she's got her wings. There we go. Mercy back there. Our pathway is pretty simple, right? Like we come in. So first things first. Every time you use your thrusters, you make a noise. So avoid using your thrusters. Try and drop before you do it. So come in high and then let yourself drop down. Drop down above the first target you want to kill. So in this case, we probably want to like try and drop in from behind. Let yourself plummet, stop right above the Mercy, and then try and think about the line that you're going to draw to get the targets. You don't want to like, you know, let's draw it from top down. Not use yellow because it blends in. Is my face in the way of this? I don't think it will be. So like the Reinhardt is here, Mercy's back here, target here, target here, target here. This is Roadhog clearly. So let's think about the little line we're going to draw, and this is the Mercy. Got wings, looks like a spider, and a halo. There we go. So we're probably going to start here, right? Pretty simple. And then let's think about the line we want to draw. Well, the Roadhog can probably delete us, but let's say the hook's down for the sake of argument. Then we're probably going to draw a line here, and we're probably going to go like this and draw this line. Because the Reinhardt's either probably going to block it. Like we can draw that line, we could draw that line, we could just go straight for the Reinhardt as well. As long as we are drawing a decent line, as long as we have a plan as we're dropping down, we should be thinking, thinking emoji. What am I going to do next? But having that initial barrage, you got to remember the initial wallop of the barrage is usually enough to delete a 200 hit point target. Before people react to it, you usually can get one person. So as long as you are putting the crosshair on the target you are aiming to kill, and it's why it was so tilting in the video when he did like very early on this barrage.
Welcome to Overwatch, mon chéri.
Hey, Noblu ask. Thank you.
Great help.
Get rid of this shit all over the screen. Scroll back, scroll back. This is why this was so tilting to watch. Because it felt like we didn't have a plan. Like, we come in, we've got a target on half hit points, we've got a Reinhardt who's a little bit unprepared, and then we get most of the Reinhardt, and then we change target a little bit too quickly. And it's like, that indecision costs us dearly. Now, you can make the argument that, like, once the barrier comes up, then we change target, but and I'd say, like, when we're doing this motion here, when we're doing the up and over, first of all, we should, if we're going to do a barrage like this, we should be going, like, didn't have the drawing. We should be going, like, around, not out of this window, but all the way around the back so that they don't know we're coming. Rocket boost up, we can concussive blast up and over as well, and get into position nice and quick, rather than coming from a direction that the enemy team's probably going to be able to see us. Luckily, the Reinhardt isn't paying attention. He's having fun standing in his safe space. I'd definitely say the big thing that I notice here is that this would just die immediately. So we should probably just start here for our line, just get that initial warp, delete the Orisa, and then we could probably bring it around and get rid of the Reinhardt and the Reinhardt barrier for the next fight. That's probably where I would have gone. Also, the Lucio sort of wanders over, so he, like, the Lucio would have been probably a better second choice, just as he appears. So we get that, and then we get the Lucio for free. Now, you notice the Lucio, I think, had 2 hit points as well, which is insane. Then we just finish everything off. Time is it. We've got time for a couple more questions. You mentioned that Tracer is not scary for Pharah, but I find them and Genji actually pretty hard to deal with, and often lose duels to those heroes if they are good. If you're losing duels to a Tracer, you are getting way too close to the Tracer. You shouldn't be getting that near. Tracer, like, versus Pharah. if we are high in the air, like let's pretend that we are high in the air and we're looking down and Tracer is down here. Tracer is literally where the crosshair is. Okay? We fire a rocket at Tracer, she blinks. She blinks over here. We fire a rocket over here, she blinks. And she's shooting at us, but we're not taking much damage because we're nice and high and safe in the air. And then we fire a rocket here and she blinks. And then, oh shit. We fire a rocket again. Maybe her third blink's recharged, but now she's really shit out of luck. We fire a rocket again. We get her down to half. Recall. She goes back to here. And we can just easily, as long as we're staying high and safe, she can't stop us, really. And if she enters any choke point, any small area, we just fucking nail her with a rocket and she's dead. Razor has very little freedom to deal with the Pharah. If she's purely focusing on dealing with the Pharah as well, she's not doing her job anymore. And if she has a Discord orb, she just explodes. Also, if you have Mercy pocketing you, damage boost, dead instantly. Landing a single rocket, once you've landed that first rocket, you know that she will recall every single time. So just track back in your mind 3 seconds and then get that hit. Try and land that second shot as fast as you can. The Tracer will probably be looking to disengage, but she's also out of blinks already, so you can be spammier with your rockets. It's just wearing her down, wearing her down, wearing her down. Genji is a little bit trickier. Same principle, he's going to be double jumping, try and anticipate the landing of the double jump. If he's going to walls, just shoot the wall that he's trying to climb, it's a free hit for you, and just wear him down like that. If he deflects, it's not that scary, just try and bait the deflect and then go for the kill after that. Be careful about sort of closing in, and you should only be closing the gap when he's low enough for you to get the guaranteed finish. Like if he's on 70 hit points or less, that's when you probably should be starting to dive in and go and confirm that kill. If you try and do that too early, then he's just going to shuriken you to death and dash through you and get the kill. If you do start dropping low, get height and get away, because he can't finish you off. I don't understand why people say Diva is a counter to Pharah. Yes, I know Defense Matrix eats her shots, but it only lasts for a certain amount of time. She's going to get destroyed anyways. Pharah, like, it's the fire rate for Pharah, where you could just flick Defense Matrix up and catch a rocket, and you can do that for absolutely ages, and just completely nullify everything the Pharah is doing. The time that Pharah takes to reload, the Defense Matrix is recharging quite extensively. Barrage gets completely shut down. Any ambush and burst damage that Pharah does is shut down. Pharah is very reliant on getting things done quickly, and getting things done either from a safe distance, where she can just spam and be safe from people through distance alone, or she wants to dive in and very quickly do something. At long range, Diva just stands there, catches rockets, no fucking problem, because you've got to consider that the rocket is a 3D projectile, so it has travel time through space. So as long as the Defense Matrix catches it at some point during that travel time, it's so easy to do. While hit scan starts at point A, press button, point B is hit. Rocket has travel time. Are you casting scrims tomorrow? Are scrims tomorrow? They are, then I probably will be. Let me check. It's been busy with the World Cup. Schedule. Scrim Central, Team Screens, Saturdays, 3 PM BST. Is that starting tomorrow? It's, schedule 20 is... Oh yeah, it is tomorrow. Nice. So yeah, probably then. Is Pharah good for players with good game sense but weaker mechanics? Pharah is very mechanical based, like any DPS is. You have good game sense, you can get a lot out of it, but work on your mechanics. Like, if you want to get good at Overwatch, you will have to get good at shooting at some point. Night Null, since you can't always rely on your teammates to deal with the enemy Pharah, would you recommend spending time on Pharah duels in the arcade for training? It doesn't hurt. Being good at Pharah versus Pharah isn't a bad idea, but it should not be your priority ever. It should never be your top tier priority is killing their Pharah. That's a bad idea. Just getting good at it in general, though, never hurts. If there are no hit scans on your team, is killing Pharah your job as Pharah? It's part of your job, but honestly, it's a shitty part of your job, and you will be better served by changing the team lineup. You could either get off Pharah yourself, or you could try and persuade someone to swap, because their Pharah will just shit all over your team. And even if you full-time try and stop their Pharah, you will not do a good enough job to actually stop their Pharah. Basically. Which is kind of what happened here. You watch that video, I'll never leave my mind. Is that the dress video? Damn straight. That's Ryan. Reaper is Pharah's best counter, only if it's a top 500. Only if you are a top 500 Pharah and the Reaper is top 500. Then it's the hardest counter in the world. If you don't understand the context of that, then you haven't watched enough of the stream. Where me, Ryan, and Mist were tilted off the face of the fucking planet by a man who literally gave up because on the enemy team, I quote, that man is top 500. said our Pharah player, who is also apparently a top 500 Smurf, but was getting shut down by a Reaper? The Reaper. I don't care what rank he is, it's a fucking Reaper. Oh, right, I'd say one more question and then let's wrap it up, because we've been going a long time. Is there a good way to respond when an initiation ult like Sound Barrier or Grev is used early when the team isn't ready to push? Do you have to go in and try and get value out? It's a very difficult decision. I would usually try and make something out of it, but I would be very, very conservative with using my ultimates. Because, like in the instance of what happened in this game, where it's like, you know, we get the 3v1 fight towards the end, it's never ideal, but I think if we just pull back, if you just pull back then, it's even worse, but just go in, try and get something to happen fast, like it actually works out, you know? Sound Barrier comes out, and we instantly get 2 kills here. Like, this is actually good for us. It's just a huge tragedy that Lucio decided to stand in Junkrat and then died, because we actually have opportunities to make stuff happen here. I'd say the big mistake is then we just tunnel vision onto this Pharah, and we don't do anything for the next 35, 40 seconds. You could literally fucking time this shit. When was the last time we actually did damage? We did some there. Haven't done any damage. Haven't done any damage, done some damage now. That was a good 30, 40 seconds in that fight. We were just a non-factor. And so it's sort of a really good example of like target priority really mattering at a time like that, and we just didn't have the right target priority, so we didn't get value out of it. I'm new here, I'm loving the advice so far. Wonder what your rank is currently. Also, how do you feel about Mercy versus other supports used? Do you prefer Mercy or do you prefer others? My current rank, I think, is about 3.8 on Ohm. I'd actually check. Might be a bit lower than that, actually. It might be on danger of decaying, so we might have to play some ranked on that afterwards, which is fine with me. Let's bring this up. I did say we'll take one more question, but this, yeah, 3746. We've been on a bit of a losing streak recently with Ohm. Career high this season. We managed to hit 4,000 for the season. Career high, I think, is just a little bit higher than that, like 4,050. Highest I've ever been, I think, is 4.1 on one of my Smurfs. But yeah, I usually linger about 3.8, 3.9. How do I feel about other Mercy compared to other supports? Well, I'm an Ana main, so I prefer Ana. I don't like playing Mercy myself. I think Mercy is a fine support, and I think that she got a lot of shit for a while. Like, without any real changes, she sort of crept back into the meta, and I think people gave her a lot of undue shit. She is effective. You just got to make sure that you are playing her to a fullest, which unfortunately usually involves hiding and not doing much for a lot of the game, and that to me is very unfun, so I don't play Mercy myself. I prefer Ana. I prefer Lucio myself. I play a lot of Lucio now. I've been having a blast with Lucio. Yeah, how is my career profile for this season on this account? So Ana, Reinhardt, Lucio. Win percentage, this could be ugly. Apparently I should be a Symmetra main. My Mercy win rate is spectacular. My Lucio win rate is very high. And then Ana, oh, the sub 50. Oh, it hurts. 49%. Feels bad, man. But yeah. Like, Mercy is a games played 1. Somehow 67%. Makes sense. Yeah, I think she's fine. It's just, like, there is such a thing as a bad Mercy, and if you are dying a lot and not doing things actively and not getting resurrects off, you are not doing your job and you should be swapping onto something else. And that's the mark of, like, Mercy is fucking up. It does happen, and people seem to think that just because I'm playing Mercy and I'm healing people every now and then, I'm doing things. You could be doing more on another hero. So be very careful about falling into that trap, but do not also assume, oh, Mercy's on our team, that's why we're losing, which I used to see a lot. It's less now, and honestly, the only real change that happened to her was the Resurrect change, which was a big buff, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't big enough to suddenly make everyone do a fucking 180 on her on opinions about her. But Pharah was out of meta as well until recently, and she hasn't been changed. Just goes to show you, like, strong opinions. Ugh. Right, anyway, and especially with, like, ranked and competitive, you can make kind of anything work. Anyway, thank you for watching to the end of the video. If you want to send stuff in for YouTube, the stream will be going for another hour or so. If you want to send stuff into Coaching the Money, you can do. It is oamreviews@gmail.com. And apologize if there's other questions. There's probably other questions. There's probably a lot of other questions. But we've been running for quite a while now. But yeah, send it into oamreviews@gmail.com. Put in the hero name and the rank, or not the rank, the SR, the rating, in the description. And then yeah, also put in if you're a Twitch sub or not. If you are a Twitch sub, you get a little bit higher priority in getting picked. I think today's was a Twitch sub. No, just long time viewer. There you go. He also says that he runs 3,600 DPI with 1 in-game sensitivity, equal to 800 DPI with 4 in-game sensitivity. That's honestly fine. How do I work around having just half the team here call outs? Also, how good is your communication? Again, the big thing with communication was just scouting. Scouting. Info is useful. Which way people are going, what they're doing. Always good stuff, always useful. Thank you to... God, I can't remember. I didn't say his name. But thank you to our player for today. Because it is always brave sending in content that's going to get reviewed in public. And I'm going to slightly take the piss and be a little bit harsh at times as well. So thank you for doing that. If you are watching this on YouTube, do come by and watch us live as well, 10 PM GMT on Friday and Saturday. We'll be doing Coaching the Many again tomorrow for those of you on stream. Not sure what we'll be doing. I've got a lot of Tracer footage, but we did Tracer relatively recently, so I'm not sure. We might be doing Zarya. We'll see. But definitely send in footage if you think, I've got some footage. Just send it in. Send it in. Otherwise, yeah, thank you for watching to the end. Toodles.